Alright, so I just want to, sit here and have a video kind of about what it's like to be ugly. You know what I'm saying? I'm, too skinny. It's a little bit gross, whatever. I got, fucked up pubes on my face. Not super attractive. Acne's always coming around. I got real bad teeth. I got braces, but those are yellow. That's kind of disgusting. So, I had a lot of shit kind of going on when I was young. I mean, nothing in a positive way. It was just, I was fucking kid. It wasn't great. But as I got older, I got more and more eager to learn about shit. And, I wanted to try more shit. But that ended up costing me a lot. So that was not a good idea. That was a bad play on my part. Ended up intravenously used a lot of heroin. Eventually I started doing painkillers when I was 16. It's the whole thing, whatever. And then I started doing meth when I was 19. Started smoking it, and then I started shooting it. I jacked off a lot. I mean, I still jack off, but, a fair amount. But it wasn't good. It wasn't healthy. It affected me in a lot of ways. Um, Definitely have some regrets. Wish I did some things differently. Uh, Heroin and, opiates in general and all that shit, it was not, it's the, what is it, pleasure and, pain difference. It starts with a lot of pleasure and almost no pain, which is true, unfortunately. That's how a lot of things work. But if you're an addict and you're susceptible to that kind of thing, then it ends up almost always with a shit ton of pain, almost no pleasure, get through withdrawals and all that. And it really, it wasn't great, But I'm in a place now where I'm okay, I drink, I drink alcohols and I smoke cigarettes, and it's not great. I'm not good at it. I'm not very good at moderating shit, but it's way better than it's ever been in perspective since I was 17, 18. Um I think it's something we should probably talk about more so I know we talk about this shit a lot, but you know, it's a tough thing to talk about, and mental health and all that is very much involved, and I have my own, litany of, mental problems from, it's genetics, and then it's what you do with your life, and it's a lot of it's, I feel it's self-inflicted, but I think it's important to talk about. Um, and yeah, I don't really, I don't know why I decided to record this, but I think I think it's important, man. I think we should all be moving in a more positive direction if that's possible, if we're capable of that, which I think we are. It's just easy to say we're not, and I'm often on the side of saying no, fuck it, and nihilism, and saying, well, what the fuck is the point? And it's upsetting to me whenever I wake up and think about that shit. Actually think about that shit, because I know I could be doing better, obviously, a lot better, but I'm not so sure that people are self-aware of that. I feel like maybe a lot of people, maybe got a, dealt a bad hand, and that's totally reasonable, and I understand that, but that's no reason to not play the hand and do what you can for yourself and for the people around you and for everybody that loves you and all that shit, which is probably more people and shit than you think. But, you know, I really, I think as a species and all that, regardless of our genetics and our birth defects and our, physical and mental disabilities, if you will, uh, I think we could try to grow as humans, and maybe we could, who knows? Maybe the generation could be really good. Maybe we can do something terrific. If not, I'm more, afraid of the consequences because it's never, so bad it couldn't be worse. Like, a lot of shit can really get fucked up, and everything going on in the world is interesting. It's not good. A lot of it's not good. Some of it's great. A lot of it is pretty negative, at least as far as, what it's been reported and what I've seen from my personal firsthand experience. But I think we could do better as a species, and I don't know why I would make a video about that and say shit like that. It's silly for me, cause it's just yeah, that's not something I'd usually say, but I think it could be important. Um, and for the millennial generation and shit, or Generation X, and these kids that are just growing up and everything, and like I understand, mental health is becoming more and more recognized and everything, but I think it's what we do about it, and I think there's a lot of people that don't speak about it, and they might personally have some of that going on in their realm, at least, if not by themselves. But I wish and I hope that we can try to solve that conflict at least, or maybe not, so maybe mitigate it. I hope we can make it not as bad as it is, because there's a lot of people out there suffering in silence, and I understand that. And I always thought my pain was the worst, pain ever. I thought it was nobody's ever experienced this. Nobody's ever, been through what I've been through and all that shit. And it's not true. We have a community, and there are some fucked up people, some people need therapy, all this shit. Some people that should be on meds, some people that shouldn't take so many meds, some people that should be off meds, a lot of people that should be on meds. But I think it's very important that maybe we talk about this, and maybe we could help people. And I'm certainly an advocate for freedom of speech and being able to express yourself, and then, maybe we can go from there. Maybe we could um, try to better this planet that we're on, because there's a lot of third world countries that have, Lord knows, just unbelievable problems. And some of us in the U.S. are very privileged, and even if we don't know it, even if we're 1% of the population of the world, we live in the U.S., we can eat every day, uh, we have a lot of opportunities that people don't, and I don't know too much about, really what's going on outside of America, but I think it's important that if we could focus on ourselves and try to better ourselves as people, I think that would, I think that means something. And, you know, I'd like to leave a positive change when I leave this planet. I think it'd be nice. I romanticize that. I always thought, fuck it, life's useless. What the fuck? Who gives a shit? I won't be anything. I won't mean anything. And maybe I won't, but life is starting to seem more important than I think it is. And I think that's important for people to recognize. And you can change. Um, and I'm not a great example of that. I'm still very much working on myself, but I've seen it, I've witnessed it. I've read whatever, blah, blah, blah. It happens, and I think that's tremendous. And just having that glimmer of hope that maybe you can do something different, maybe you can do something to impact your life or somebody else's life in some, minuscule way. I think it's uh, very important, tremendous, and we should talk about that more. And I hope we can step up to the plate and kind of at least try to make a change. I think it's worth trying. That's what I'm saying. In life, I think it's worth trying. A lot of people giving up quick, and it's hard. I understand that. It's so it's brutal. We all know that. Tragedies everywhere. If it hasn't hit you yet, it'll be close. If it already hit you, it'll still be around the corner. It always is. Tragedy is just, that's what comes with being a human, and that's hard to accept. But I think it's worth exploring, and I hope we can, you know, really do something different with this generation. Try to, help ourselves. Literally, how, self-reflection, introspection, being able to figure out what you need for yourself. And maybe if we could do that, maybe we can help each other, which would be even better. And then eventually, maybe we can help a community. Maybe we could be involved in whatever it would be. So, I don't know why I would videotape something like this. Seems kind of fucking dumb, but I believe it, and I think it's important. You know. So, you know, if you know somebody or you're going through some shit yourself or whatever the fuck's going on, uh, talk to someone. Look at what you're doing with your life. Think about what you want to do. Have some kind of trajectory so you can understand what you want to do, who you want to be, and you know, it's everybody could give a list of all the shit they're going through. Nobody's perfect, and people are all going through different kind of things, from having money, not having money, whatever, your family, mental illness, drugs, lack of food. There's just a lot of shit going on, and I hope we can make some kind of positive impact on that and do it together. So, deuces.